Today we're going to begin with a warm-up of a review from yesterday as well as pulling on previously learned material to help you out with today. So we are first asked to simplify the following. And so remember order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS. So first we start with parentheses. We have them. So 9 minus 3 is 6. Copy the rest because there's no more parentheses. Next we have exponents. Right here, 6 squared is 36. Plus 6 divided by 2 divided by 3. There's no more. There is no multiplication. Division though, remember we go left to right always. So we are going to do 6 divided by 2 first. We know that's 3. So if I recopy, I have 36 plus 3 divided by 3. We have division again. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I have 36 plus 1. That's our final operation, which gives us a grand total of 37. And next we're going to write expressions. So we have the expression, we have to write 7 plus 3 as an expression. And for vocabulary, remember expressions have no equal sign. So we just put everything without an equal sign. So we have 7 plus 3. And the next one says write a number minus 5 as an expression. So a number is unknown, so we can call it n minus 5. And that's it. So today's lesson is section 1.2, variables and expressions. And before we begin even, we're going to define what a variable and what an expression is. Most of you should know this because we kind of talked about it yesterday, but a variable is a symbol used to represent a number. To represent a unknown number. And so basically it's just the letters you see. X is most common, Y, Z, and so on. And expressions are algebraic statements that have no equal sign. So the most important thing to know about expressions is there are no equal sign. And that is what you need to know. So those are our 2 vocab words that we're going to focus on. And now we have this chart. And in our chart, we need to write down words that mean addition. So we know plus sign is addition. But what else does it mean? I know add, more, and so on. And think of as many as you can. We are going to do the same thing for subtraction, multiplication, and division. So all 4 of them have so many different phrases that represent them, and your job is to fill in as many as possible. And we'll go over them more in depth in class. Now that you've filled in that chart, and we kind of know what the different operations can be represented as words, we can write these sentences as algebraic expressions, which is basically a math sentence. So it says the sum of Q and 8. And so we need to put that as an algebraic expression, which is just writing what it sounds like. So Q and 8, and I know sum means plus. So I'm going to take Q plus 8, the sum of Q and 8. And we're going to do the same thing for the next 5 examples. So we have the quotient. Quotient is dividing of 6 and D. So we have the quotient of 6 and D. 11 less than a number. So less than, here's a tricky one. Whenever we see the word than, we're going to flip them around. So we think that 11 would go first, but because of that less than, we're going to put a some number in front. So we're going to call that number n, and then minus that 11. So even though the words are in the other order, when we write the algebraic expression, we flip them around because of less than. And now they're starting to get more complicated. We have 4 plus the product, which is multiplication, of 9 and some number. So 4 plus the product of 9 and some number. So 9 and some number are multiplied. 9 and some number. And you could also write it as 9 parenthesis n or just 9n. Example 5 is 3 times multiplication. The difference is subtraction of 7 and a number. So we have 3 times the thing, which is the difference of 7 and a number. So we're going to take the difference of 7 and a number, and difference is subtraction. And last but not least, we have twice. Twice is 2 times the sum of a number and 9. So we're going to have 2 times the sum of a number and 9. So the sum of a number and 9. So we have our number, we have our 9, and we have the sum of them. And so that is correct. I would suggest putting the n plus 9 in parentheses just to make it look better, but the first way would be fine. Now we're going to work backwards. So we have the algebraic expression right here. We need to put that into words. And basically, however you say it is how you would write it. So we have 10 times x plus 8. So we could say the sum of 10 times a number. So we have 10 times x and 8, because we already said sum. This is not the only way to write it, but this is one way. So we have the sum, which is our plus, of 10 times a number and 8. Our next one is 2 over s minus 3. So dividing, one way to say it is the quotient. So the quotient of 2 and s minus 3. You could also say 3 less than the quotient of 2 and s. And just like the last one, there's so many different ways you could write this. And finally, we have an exit slip. And so in class, I'll provide you with paper, and you'd put your name on it, and you would solve the following problem. So it says, vroom vroom. The cost of renting a motorcycle is $5 per hour plus an additional deposit of $18. And we didn't make that an expression. So hours, do we know how many hours we're renting it for? No. And so we're going to say hour is going to be our variable. and we'll call it X. So we're having it for $5 per hour plus an additional deposit of $18. So when you rent this motorcycle, you pay $18 and you have to give them $5 for every hour you rent it. For every hour that you rent it. And so right here is our expression. And so because we need an expression, remember there is no equal sign. And that's it.